welcome back to the Road to Episode 7, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, on December 18th, 2015, and there's a shitload of stuff to get through. Entertainment Weekly came out with an issue this week that has a ton of stuff, not to mention, at least, you know, the cover right there. We got Kylo Ren in all his glory on the front cover there, and it's not focusing, which is absolutely fantastic. There we go. Looks awesome, looks badass. And yeah, there's loads of information, plot stuff that's come out. Some pictures, we got 3PO and R2-D2 there. I'll put some up on the screen. We got Poe Dameron, we got J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan, we got Captain Phasma, the Chrome Trooper. Another really cool shot of Kylo Ren, some stuff from the filming in Abu Dhabi, and a great shot of Rey and BB-8 alongside this this kind of mechanical kind of beast that has kind of these metal this metal armor over it and stuff like that. It looks really cool. I love the design. Again, practical stuff. Gotta love it. We got a full shot of Domhnall Gleeson playing General Hux. Looks really cool. Again, he kind of fits that kind of British kind of villain in the Star Wars film, much like all the bad guys in the original trilogy had British accents. And there's tons of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to get into kind of the plot details that were unveiled, I suppose, in these interviews with J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy. And I'm kind of reacting to some of these for the first time. I've read some of them, but then I stopped myself because I wanted to read them on camera, so to speak. And Kathleen Kennedy was talking about how she kind of persuaded J.J. Abrams to direct Star Wars, and she said, you know, in the context of talking about story and laying out what we were thinking, I said one thing to J.J. Abrams: who is Luke Skywalker? And J.J. Abrams said, oh my god, I just got chills, I'm in. And then Kathleen Kennedy says, really, it was that quickly. She said, who is Luke Skywalker? And that is what got J.J. Abrams to kind of get into it. And so yeah, that's kind of what sparked his interest and stuff. And Lawrence Kasdan, you know, had said that he wasn't interested in writing for the prequels or anything like that, but he was very much interested in coming back to write for stories set after Return of the Jedi. So that's really cool. I mean, we got the writer of the best Star Wars film on The Force Awakens, and that to me is really, really cool. Yeah, so the story team began asking questions. They knew they had Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher already committed, so that gave them, you know, Luke, Leia, and Han Solo to play around with. And J.J. Abrams said, my guess is that any question that anyone would be having was among the endless questions we were asking at the very beginning. So they obviously put a lot of thought into it, and I'm sure they did. I mean, not only from a kind of business standpoint, but again from a storytelling standpoint. And this is where kind of spoilers begin, so if you want nothing to do with any of the details of the plot of The Force Awakens, there's nothing going to be earth-shattering here, but more details than turn off now. The Imperial Remnant has morphed into the First Order, while the Resistance is described as a splinter group. So, you know, the Resistance is basically the Rebel Alliance now, and the First Order is what the Empire was. Princess Leia has acquired Luke's old lightsaber, which in turn belonged to Anakin Skywalker. So it was somehow found after falling into the depths of Cloud City. So that is obviously a major plot point. Are we going to see possibly Luke Skywalker's offspring with the new lightsaber? Who knows? So definitely that shot that we saw in the first teaser trailer was Luke's lightsaber being handed to Leia. Or maybe was it the second trailer? I can't remember. But the shot of the lightsaber being handed to a female hand was definitely Princess Leia. Again, the driving question that influenced Abrams was who was Luke Skywalker? And this is a question that will be raised in The Force Awakens and will continue to be brought up in the other two films in the sequel trilogy. That is exciting to me. That to me says Mark Hamill's going to be in all three, and that to me would be dream come true. That would be absolutely amazing. On the note of the story of the whole sequel trilogy, the general arc has been decided upon, but the story of the film is still evolving. The original trilogy characters have all changed by the events of the Galactic Civil War. That is to say, they're not quite the same people that they were when we last saw them partying on Endor at the end of Return of the Jedi. Kathleen Kennedy notes that the story arc for the new movies will complement the message of the films in the original trilogy and not completely reject it as some have feared. J.J. Abrams will not be returning to direct Episode 9. George Lucas's words and vision are still important to Lucasfilm even after his retirement. Kathleen Kennedy said George spoke often about that tension in everybody between what's good and bad. He always felt it was easier to be bad than good, and I'm not sure all people would agree, but I think that's always an interesting conflict to explore, so that's a big part of the themes inside Episode 7. Lawrence Kasdan again turned down work on the prequel trilogy, but jumped on the chance to write for stories set after Return of the Jedi. One of the most important bits of information came from the following quotes, and by the way, I'm getting this all from Star Wars 7news.com, which is a great website I've been following since the beginning. The amount of screen time the Skywalker twins may get is still unclear, although Luke's fate is obviously a key factor in the film. Han Solo, however, will be one of the leads, piloting the Millennium Falcon alongside his old pal Chewbacca. Among the newcomers, Desert Scavenger Rey and runaway Stormtrooper Finn will be running for their lives with the rolling droid BB-8 trying to keep up. Eventually all 5 of them end up aboard that familiar starship, which again we've seen through images, and we've seen some shots in the trailer that kind of indicate that that's going to be kind of the core adventure group of the film. And then more stuff came out. The First Order, who Kylo Ren is allied with, is an Imperial remnant. Again, so the Empire, the people who were in the Empire, at the end of the fall of the Empire, Return of the Jedi, they've jumped over to the kind of the First Order. As many have come to understand, Kylo Ren is obsessed with Darth Vader and wishes to carry out his legacy. Really cool stuff. Kylo's mask has a backstory to it, although J.J. Abrams admits that Lucasfilm designed it in such a way to pay homage to Darth Vader. As those who have seen the crossbraid lightsaber up close can attest to, the weapon is cobbled together by Kylo Ren and is not a relic weapon that he's found. It says Entertainment Weekly hypothesizes that Kylo is the anti-Luke. He's an individual that starts from nothing and becomes legendary. However, whereas Luke chose the Force's light side, Kylo allied himself with the dark side in his ambition. J.J. Abrams has said that Kylo Ren is not as fully formed as a bad guy as, say, Darth Vader is. He very much sees himself as a hero in his twisted mind. I love that. It seems like, duh to say it, but the best villains really are the characters who believe that they are right and don't think of themselves as evil. Kylo Ren, this is the big one. This is probably the biggest thing for me about the whole kind of plot points that have been revealed. Kylo Ren is not his real name. It is a title, much like Darth Vader. He isn't a Sith either. He's a member of an organization known as the Knights of Ren, who bestowed upon him the title when he was initiated into their numbers. So there we go. Kylo is his name. Kylo is his name, but Ren is the title he was given. But then again, he might have his real name might be completely different. He might be Luke Skywalker Jr. Who knows? So yeah, and Entertainment Weekly teases that we might know who one or both of his parents are before the movie comes out. Very interesting. And Lawrence Kasdan noted he felt that Kylo Ren was the most original character he'd ever written for a Star Wars movie. He is a villain driven by his emotions, which Kasdan says Adam Driver really fleshes out on the screen. So there we go. That's pretty damn cool. Like, goosebump kind of stuff, It just sounds like Kylo Ren is going to be such a great villain. I love the look, I love the mask. I hope he is the central villain of the whole trilogy. I mentioned a few videos back that Benicio del Toro was kind of in talks to do the villain for episode 8, and he has come out and said that he feels like he's going to get it, and he feels like he wants to do it, so it seems like he's going to be in it. And again, I feel like maybe he's too much of a big name, but we'll see what happens. But I really hope that Kylo Ren is the Darth Vader of this trilogy, as I've said before. I've got 2 minutes left on my battery, so I'm going to try and rattle through the rest of this now. On J.J. Abrams talks about Finn and Rey. He says that a piece of information is being held back about their names, perhaps because their last names are ones we already may know. He isn't ready to reveal their full identities, but did confirm that this theory was getting warm. I will only say about that is that it is completely intentional that their last names aren't public record. So basically everyone is thinking that Rey is a Solo and that Finn is a Calrissian. Obviously the only kind of black character we knew in the original trilogy was a Calrissian. I don't know if I buy that, I'm not too sure. I guess it would work, but again, we're not seeing Billy D. Williams in the film. I guess we don't need to, but I don't know about Finn. Finn is a mystery to me, but I think that Rey could very easily be a Solo. But in my opinion, I think that it would be much more suited if she was a Skywalker. Why? Because, it seems like Rey and Finn, they kind of come together, and then they meet up with Han Solo, they go off on an adventure. Now, Han and Leia, I can't see them having a kid, and their kid just being, going off onto this desert planet and being a scavenger. Luke, however, I can see having a kid and having problems, and his kid is sent off or whatever. For me, I feel like it's so much more likely that she is a Skywalker. But my theory was that Kylo Ren and Rey were brother and sister, or are brother and sister, because the rumor was that Daisy Ridley's character was going to be called Kira, and so if you call her Kira Ray, Kylo Ren, they're kind of similar sounding names, and I thought that they would be the brother and sister of Luke Skywalker, and they would both represent the light and dark side of the Force, and their kind of conflict would be the big thing of the trilogy. Maybe it still will be, I don't know, but I would love to that would be a great story to me, because again, Kylo Ren would be trying to obsess with his grandfather's legacy of Darth Vader, and it would be so cool. Anyway, I've got to change my battery and I'll come back and finish the rest of these. Okay, we're back, and I feel a little less rushed now that I've got my camera plugged in and charging. So yeah, J.J. Abrams went on to talk about more of the characters' names, and I guess I've kind of covered the juiciest stuff now, so this is kind of just winding down. But Poe Dameron, he said, came about because it's a name that he knows, and it just musically felt right. Dameron, I believe, is the name of a guy he works with. And Poe, he said, ultimately felt like the right name. And someone reminded me recently that my daughter had a polar bear named Poe, short for Polar. So in a way, our kind of new Han Solo figure for the new Star Wars trilogy is in effect named after J.J. Abrams' daughter's polar bear. Yeah, interesting. BB-8, he said, I named him BB-8 because it was almost onomatopoeia. It was sort of how he looked to me with the 8, obviously, and with the 2 B's. You know, so that's kind of cool. I like that. And it's funny how sometimes the bad ideas, you try them out and kick the tires a little bit, and it just kind of falls apart, and you can go somewhere else, and you've just got to know it's temporary. But that one, he never had another name, and it just kind of clicked. General Hux, he said that him and Lawrence Kasdan would walk all over the place when they were breaking the story, and he would record their conversations. He said, we were walking through a cemetery that's near the Bad Robot offices, and we would often, as we were talking about characters, sort of just be glancing at the names to see if any of them stuck. I don't believe that Hux came from there, but it may have. Captain Phasma, he actually says he was reminded of Phantasm, a 1979 horror film that featured a gaunt, terrifying figure known as the Tall Man, and a flying silver sphere that bores into its victims' bodies like a bullet crossed with a drill tip. Phasma I named because of the amazing chrome design that came from the wardrobe team. It reminded me of the ball in Phantasm, and I just thought Phasma sounds really cool. So that's I like that. You know, I like that he can just say it just sounds cool. He also revealed more details on that picture I was talking about with Rey cutting BB-8 free from a net of a fellow scavenger in the sand dunes of Jakku. BB-8 was snagged by a surly little sand dweller known as Tito, who was riding atop what looks like a rhinoceros fused with metal boxes. That beast of burden is known as a lugger beast, a never before seen creature from the universe. And another added bit of trivia is that Tito is played by actor Kieran Shah, who played an Ewok in Return of the Jedi, doubled for Christopher Reeve in the 1978 Superman film when they needed Force perspective shots, and he also played Frodo, the scale double in the Lord of the Rings films. So there we go. That is pretty much the bulk of all the information, and it's been really cool reading it and reacting to it and thinking about it. Again, I feel like maybe I shouldn't be kind of trying to figure out where it's going, but it's so much fun to do it, and it's so exciting to imagine the possibilities. And we are now only, what was it, 4 months away from The Force Awakens. It is unbelievable. I'm just excited beyond belief. So excited. I feel like I'm not ready for this. When I saw that picture of Luke the other day, I just thought, I can't handle this. I'm not going to be able to handle this. It could be the biggest disappointment of my life. It could be the best film I've ever seen, based on emotional response. Who knows? I'm really excited for it. We'll see where it goes, obviously, and there'll be many more videos on the road to episode 7. But that is the stuff that's come out this week. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I probably did, that currently, right now, today, they're doing this big Disney convention, D23 or D23, Disney Expo, and it was announced that there'd be no new Star Wars footage, which had disappointed a lot of people. But I'm glad, because I don't think I can handle much more now. We've seen all the toys, the figures, we're seeing the new images and descriptions and things like that. And yeah, and next time I'll talk about the new shot that we saw. There was an international TV spot from Korea which came online, and it features a new shot from the film. I should just talk about it now, really, shouldn't I? Get out of the way and not just make one video dedicated to that. Okay, so there's a 30-second-ish, round about 30 seconds teaser TV spot kind of thing, which kind of a mix of shots from the teaser trailer, and it has one shot of the First Order, and it's basically a reverse angle of the shot that we saw on the snow planet with all the stormtroopers, but it's from the perspective of the kind of the stage or the podium looking out to all the troops, and I'll show you a shot of it right now. And yeah, that was really cool. But that was the only new shot in the TV spot. So again, just these little morsels that are coming out that we can kind of just, you know, just nibble on, but we never get a full bite, you know. And that's how it should be. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave me your thoughts down below on anything I've said in the video. Your thoughts on the road to episode 7 in general. I don't get many comments on these videos. I love to read them specifically for this series. It's what I love more than anything, pretty much. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you with the next video.